Good morning, afternoon, everyone. When we think about relationships, whether they're romantic, platonic, or familial, we often focus on connection. How can I feel closer? How can I build trust? But here's something we often overlook: true connection can't exist without healthy boundaries. Maintaining personal space and independence in a relationship isn't about distancing yourself from your partner. It's about nurturing the parts of you that make you whole. This boundary is crucial for ensuring that the relationship adds to your life rather than consuming it entirely. When we enter a relationship, it's tempting to merge identities, sharing everything, doing everything together, and spending all our time with one another. While that level of closeness can feel exciting at first, it's not sustainable in the long run. Without personal space, we risk losing touch with who we are as individuals, which can lead to resentment, burnout, or even codependency. Independence is about recognizing that you are your own person with your own thoughts, feelings, goals, and passions. It's not a rejection of the relationship, it's an essential part of making it work. Think of it as maintaining the oxygen that fuels your ability to love, connect, and grow. Why independence matters. You stay true to yourself. Independence allows you to maintain the unique traits, interests, and values that your partner was drawn to in the first place. By prioritizing your personal growth, you ensure that you're not just a reflection of the relationship, but a vibrant, multifaceted individual. It prevents overdependence. Relying entirely on your partner to fulfill your emotional, social, and personal needs can strain even the strongest relationship. Independence ensures that you have other outlets, whether it's friends, hobbies, or solo activities, so you don't place the burden of your happiness solely on one person. It creates healthy mystery. Spending time apart can foster curiosity and excitement. When you both have lives outside the relationship, you bring fresh energy and stories to share, keeping the connection dynamic and engaging. How to set this boundary. Communicate your needs. Share with your partner why personal space and independence are important to you. Frame it as something that enhances the relationship rather than detracts from it. For example, I love spending time with you, but I also need moments to recharge or focus on my hobbies. It helps me show up as my best self. Create time for yourself. Block out specific times for solo activities or hanging out with friends. Whether it's reading, journaling, exercising, or attending a class, these moments are non-negotiable. Support their independence. Encourage your partner to pursue their own interests and friendships. Independence is a two-way street. Both partners need space to grow individually for the relationship to thrive. Addressing common challenges. Guilt. You may feel guilty for wanting time alone, especially if your partner struggles with it. Remind yourself that taking care of your needs is not selfish, it's essential for the health of the relationship. Clinginess. If your partner resists this boundary, have an open conversation about why independence is important. Reassure them that it doesn't mean you love them any less. Overcommitment. If you're overbooked or too immersed in personal projects, the boundary can swing too far. Balance is key. Independence should complement the relationship, not replace it. The bigger picture. Respecting personal space and independence doesn't weaken intimacy, it strengthens it. When two people maintain their individuality, they bring fresh energy, ideas, and perspectives to the partnership. They become more resilient as individuals, which creates a stronger foundation for the relationship to flourish. At its core, independence is about respect for yourself, for your partner, and for the relationship. It's about saying, I am whole as I am, and together we can build something even greater. Emotional boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your emotional well-being while allowing you to build healthy connections with others. In relationships, they help you distinguish between your feelings and your partner's feelings, ensuring that you don't lose yourself in the process of loving someone else. Setting these boundaries is not about building walls, but about creating a space where mutual respect and emotional safety can thrive. Without emotional boundaries, relationships can become overwhelming, one-sided, or even toxic. You may find yourself overextending to meet your partner's emotional needs at the expense of your own, or carrying the weight of their emotions without having the space to process your own. Setting emotional boundaries ensures that the relationship is balanced, nurturing, and sustainable. Why emotional boundaries are essential. Protect your emotional energy. Your emotional energy is finite. Without boundaries, you may give too much of yourself to others and end up feeling drained. Emotional boundaries allow you to conserve your energy for what truly matters, ensuring you can show up fully for both yourself and your partner. Maintain clarity in relationships. Emotional boundaries help you separate what's yours to carry and what's not. They prevent you from taking on your partner's feelings or problems as your own while still allowing you to be empathetic and supportive. Encourage emotional responsibility. When you set boundaries, you teach your partner that they are responsible for their own feelings, actions, and choices. This fosters a healthier dynamic where both parties are accountable for their emotional well-being. Prevent resentment and burnout. Overextending emotionally can lead to feelings of resentment, frustration, or exhaustion. Boundaries help ensure that your giving is balanced, voluntary, and sustainable. How to set emotional boundaries. Identify your limits. Take the time to understand what you need to feel emotionally safe and respected. Ask yourself, what makes me feel overwhelmed or drained in relationships? What kinds of emotional support am I comfortable offering? When do I need space to process my own feelings? Communicate openly. Share your boundaries with your partner in a kind but firm way. Use I statements to express your needs without blaming, for example. I'm here for you, but I need some time to process my own emotions before we talk about this further. I understand this is important to you, but I need to step back right now to take care of my own feelings. Practice saying no. Learning to say no is a cornerstone of setting emotional boundaries. Whether it's declining to engage in a heated argument or saying no to taking on your partner's problems, remind yourself that this is not selfish, it's self-care. Take responsibility for your own emotions. Just as you expect your partner to own their feelings, you must own yours. This means acknowledging and processing your emotions rather than projecting them onto others. Examples of emotional boundaries. During conflict. I want to discuss this, but I can't engage productively when we're yelling. Let's take a break and revisit this when we're calmer. Supporting your partner. I care about what you're going through, but I can't fix this for you. I'm here to listen and support you, though. Managing emotional overload. I need some quiet time right now to recharge. Let's connect later when I'm feeling more balanced. Addressing challenges. Dealing with guilt. You might feel guilty for setting emotional boundaries, especially if you're used to being a people pleaser. Remind yourself that protecting your emotional well-being is not selfish, it's necessary for maintaining a healthy relationship. Navigating pushback. If your partner resists or challenges your boundaries, stay firm but compassionate. Explain that these boundaries are about creating a healthier dynamic for both of you, not about pushing them away. Balancing empathy and boundaries. Setting boundaries doesn't mean shutting your partner out. You can be empathetic and supportive while still protecting your emotional energy. The key is knowing when to step in and when to step back. Is the bigger picture. When you set emotional boundaries, you are setting the tone for how you want to be treated. You're showing your partner that your feelings matter just as much as theirs. This creates a relationship built on mutual respect, emotional safety, and genuine connection. Healthy emotional boundaries allow you to love and support your partner without sacrificing your own mental and emotional health. They ensure that the relationship remains a source of joy and growth rather than stress and imbalance. Ultimately, setting emotional boundaries is an act of self-love, and it's one of the most powerful ways to cultivate a relationship that nurtures and uplifts both partners. Respect is the foundation of every healthy and fulfilling relationship. Without it, trust, love, and intimacy cannot thrive. Communicating your standards for respect is not about making demands or ultimatums. It's about setting a clear and consistent expectation for how you want to be treated. It's about valuing yourself enough to ensure that your voice is heard and your boundaries are honored. Respect in relationships isn't just about avoiding mistreatment. It's about fostering a dynamic where both partners feel valued, appreciated, and safe to express themselves. Communicating these standards is essential to creating a partnership rooted in mutual understanding. Why communicating respect standards matters. It prevents misunderstandings. Everyone has different experiences and perceptions of what constitutes respectful behavior. Communicating your standards ensures there's no ambiguity about what you need to feel respected. Fosters emotional safety. When respect is a cornerstone of the relationship, both partners feel safe to be vulnerable and authentic. This emotional safety is essential for building trust and deepening the connection. It reinforces your self-worth. Setting and communicating your standards for respect is an act of self-advocacy. It sends the message that you value yourself and will not tolerate anything less than the treatment you deserve. It promotes healthy conflict resolution. Disagreements are inevitable in relationships, but how they're handled makes all the difference. Respectful communication during conflicts ensures that even challenging moments strengthen the relationship rather than damage it. How to communicate your standards for respect. Be clear and specific. Ambiguity leads to misunderstanding, so be explicit about what respect looks like for you. For example, I need us to speak calmly during disagreements. Yelling makes me shut down. I appreciate when we actively listen to each other without interrupting. Use I statements. Frame your standards in a way that focuses on your needs rather than accusing your partner of wrongdoing. For instance, I feel valued when we make decisions together. It's important to me that we avoid name-calling or insults even when we're upset. Set boundaries for disrespectful behavior. Clearly outline what behaviors are unacceptable and what consequences may follow if those boundaries are crossed. This isn't about punishment, but about protecting your well-being. If we can't have a respectful conversation, I will take a break and revisit the discussion later. Model respectful behavior. The best way to communicate your standards is to lead by example. Show your partner the same level of respect you expect from them, especially during conflicts or emotionally charged situations. Examples of respect standards during communication. Active listening without interrupting or dismissing. Avoiding sarcastic or belittling remarks. Using kind and constructive language even in disagreements. In daily interactions. Honoring commitments and being dependable. Recognizing and appreciating each other's efforts. Giving each other the benefit of the doubt rather than jumping to negative assumptions. Regarding boundaries. Respecting each other's need for space or alone time. Asking for consent before making decisions that affect both partners. Avoiding invasive behaviors like checking phones or questioning trust without cause. Addressing challenges. When your standards are not met. If your partner crosses a line, address it calmly and assertively. For example, when you raised your voice earlier, I felt disrespected. I'd appreciate it if we could talk calmly in the future. Reiterate your boundary and explain why it's important to you. Dealing with resistance. If your partner is resistant to your standards, try to have an open and empathetic conversation. Frame it as a shared goal for improving the relationship. I want us both to feel valued and respected in this relationship. Can we work together on how we communicate during conflicts? Staying consistent. Upholding your standards for respect requires consistency. If you allow disrespectful behavior to go unchecked, it sends mixed signals about your boundaries. Be firm and consistent in reinforcing your expectations. The bigger picture. Communicating your standards for respect isn't just about what you will or won't tolerate. It's about creating a relationship dynamic that uplifts and empowers both partners. Respect isn't a one-time conversation. It's an ongoing practice of mutual care, understanding, and effort. When both partners commit to treating each other with respect, it creates a ripple effect. Conflicts become opportunities for growth. Everyday interactions become sources of joy, and the relationship becomes a safe haven where both people can thrive. Ultimately, setting and communicating your standards for respect is an act of self-love and love for your partner. It lays the groundwork for a partnership built not just on passion or compatibility, but on the enduring strength of mutual respect. In closing, I want to remind you that relationships are not about perfection, but about growth. By setting clear boundaries, whether it's respecting your personal space, protecting your emotional well-being, or communicating your standards for respect, you're not only honoring yourself, but also creating the space for a deeper, more fulfilling connection with your partner. Remember, boundaries are not walls, they are the bridges that allow two individuals to come together as whole, strong people. When you clearly communicate your needs, you invite respect, understanding, and love to flourish. These boundaries aren't meant to divide, but to strengthen the relationship, allowing both partners to feel seen, valued, and safe. So embrace the courage it takes to set these boundaries, knowing that by doing so, you are making the choice to show up for yourself and for the people who matter most. Let's stop waiting for the perfect relationship and instead create one that is authentic, grounded in respect, and full of love. Thank you.